Okay, we'll call our meeting to order. I have a motion to adopt the agenda. So moved by Mr. Jonah, seconder. Mr. Land. We do have an addition. Public statements and inquiries. We'll put that under 10A. After Mount Mayor and Council statement inquiries. Any other additions or changes?
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Based on the presentation by Plan 360 with the reading or the saying you would have an answer in July. Is that part of the process that it's 1 month after the public meeting? Or was that just an error in his presentation? I'm just looking for clarification.
I don't think we were on the same page.
Okay,
Maybe, I don't know, Caleb.
but if it's council's wish, we can make that July the 3rd is.
Okay, I'll make a motion to remove the third and final reading, correct bylaw, as per the recommendation from Plan 360.
We need a seconder.
Second.
All in favor? Any question?
I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, can we have some clarity on what the motion is? Why we pulled?
Essentially, I included within the presentation that the readings would occur in July, a month after the public hearing. That was just something I done.
Essentially, the motion, the amendment to the motion were to not consider them tonight and to consider them in July instead, as Caleb showed in his presentation. So essentially, there would be no final decision on the rezoning tonight. So it would just be the postpone this reading, which are the final one the next month. Yeah.
Is that a normal process or was that a mistake? And
It was part of Kenneth's presentation that he showed on July, and just to nominate the reading the same night as the final reading the same night as the public hearing. So since Kenneth showed that in his presentation, would probably be the best course of action to maybe postpone it to next month.
Whatever council.
And just to make the final decision.
Whatever you wish.
My motion will stand.
And you seconded it, Jeff?
Yeah.
All in favor?
All right.
aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Carried. Struck. Any other changes? Not now. All in favor of accepting the agendas amended?
Aye. Aye.
Carried. Adoption of minutes from May 6th, conflict of interest declarations. Anybody have any? Okay. We're good. Adoption of minutes, May the 6th, 2025, public hearing minutes. Any question on those?
I'll make
You'll make the motion.
the minute as presented for the May 6, 2025 meeting.
Seconded by Mr. Coates. All in favor? May 6th, 2025, regular council meeting minutes. Have a motion to accept. Jeff Jonah. Any question? And who seconded?
Jeff Burns.
Jeff Land. Any question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
May 14th, 2025, special council meeting.
So,
Jeff Land, seconder, Mr. Garden. Any question? All in favor?
aye.
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 May 20, 2025 committee of the whole meeting.
So moved.
Votes, Land, seconder, any question? All in favor? Aye. Consent agenda, nothing. Public and administrative presentations. Robin Pooley. Robin?
Yeah.
You're up.
Oh. I was here from the Four Corners. In the Pine Glen Road, Osmond Corner Road, Tower Road, and the Dawson Road. We have a problem with people coming up the Dawson Road and, either not seeing the stop sign or doing something. And, we've had accidents from 2 weeks ago. My daughter was involved in an accident there. And the woman comes through about 60 miles an hour and rode her off with the, on the pile of cars, a fairly stout car. As I think the only thing that saved from real serious injury. And we have accidents there all the time. They say they're not seeing the sign. It's just that I even paid the post the signs on them for us to pink and they still drove through. It's just no way. I've complained to Wayne Steves and every other politician now for the last 20 some years. I did get a stop Ed sign 10 or 12 years ago put in, but I don't think anybody pays any attention.
Obviously.
We got a serious problem with trucks going through that intersection from the Osmond Corner to the Pine Glen. There's no speed limit there. I think it's 80 kilometers an hour through the intersection. I'm not sure, it might be a bit less, but I believe it's 80 kilometers an hour. It's gotta come down on those two. Tower Road, it's fairly good since we cleaned up the stop sign. Most people stop. But the Dawson Road's a death trap.
Right.
And we've had lots of accidents. We'll talk to the fire marshal. He believes that there should be flashing red light there because people just start paying any attention.
Right.
And I don't know if you drive down the Trans Canada, but you go off to the rumble strip. Oh, or rumble strip. And you pick it up. If people drive up there, it's 8 miles, straight pretty much ahead. In the fall, the sun goes down right up the Tower Road, so you're driving blind if your windshield's dirty. Something needs to be done there. I'm real tired of going out, and last time it was a woman who hit my daughter or her husband. I was on the other side, I had a 1-year-old baby. Okay, and I don't want to deal with that. You know, the kid wasn't crying, but he did start crying when she took me out of the car. I'm done. I live on the Four Corners. I see it all the time. And now I hear from the Department of Transport, everything is perfect. So I'm not real sure that it is. Talked to Angus and New Brunswick. I think Jim has been our point man on that. He has information, he has Sherry Wilson calling this and that. And something has to be done. It just can't be something I want to
That's why they
do.
took that hill off too, right, Jim?
And still bad.
I
I've
know.
got a, if I can, I'd like to speak about it.
Yes, sir.
As there's been numerous vehicle accidents at the four-way section of Young Glen Road, Osborne Corner Road, Dawson and Tower, and Ambulance New Brunswick has attended 7 MVAs with injuries. I would like council to send a letter to Traffic Quest and GNB to investigate arrest of lower the speed on Pine Glen Road and Osborne Corner Road. I'll send that to you if it's passed.
That's a motion.
Yes,
Please
please.
seconder for that. Jeff Land, any question? All in favor? Carried.
If I may,
The major problem is still the dock on the road. That is the big problem. Jim's got the right idea there. Slow the trucks down. We got 4 gravel pits on that mountain. We can have up to as high as 2,500 trucks a week go by there whenever you hurt them. And flying through there and not seeing the stop sign is just recipe for disaster.
Yes, sir.
You know, and it's a stop sign. I mean, come on, you know, a flash and light and a pole. I mean, it's a couple of grand.
Yeah,
There was
no,
more damage done to my son's car 2 weeks ago than a couple of grand.
Maybe also on the Dawson Road, they put rumble strips for the summertime. That makes a big difference. People, some people bound on them, but most people do.
It may help,
Wouldn't.
but, we can, we'll get that letter out to, the province and,
Yeah, there is, I checked it in the GMB, and there is a request to reduce its speed. See if we can, because I believe, Kim, they said they weren't gonna do anything.
That's what I heard.
That's what we got over.
basically, but we'll try again.
Well, that would be appreciated for us. Somebody put a die there and,
We'll
my
try.
family like, well, my both daughters have been in active there, and my niece has been in active there in the last 8 years. And I don't want to drive to
No, nobody wants any major injuries or deaths, so
Well,
we will,
couple $1,000 could fix it. So, you know, somebody's like for a couple of grand, I don't think that's a really good
It's
deal.
not about the vehicle and $2,000 damage, it's about people getting injured.
Well, of course it is.
So-
And it's preventable.
Yes, sir.
Seriously preventable. We don't hardly pay a government. I mean, it's not like I'm asking for $1 million.
No, we hear you.
Flashing light, maybe a rumble strip, and we're on. Yeah.
Okay,
I've taken up enough of your time.
yep, thank you very much,
I
and
appreciate Jim's work. He's got good support in this. And, he's the point man. I tell everybody that wants to call Jim. But Jim has the information.
Yeah. okay.
And he knows who to talk to, so.
We did bring it up with DTI last week, and, we will go at it again.
Yeah, Lisa Parsons, I know her, I don't know her very well.
Yeah,
She's local and, you know, she seems to want to do something, but her boss is her boss. And her boss's boss is the boss. so-
whatever. There, we all got bosses. Okay. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate this.
Thank you. Mrs. Sutherland.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, councilors, for the opportunity to, I talked to you about this. Would you take one and pass it on for me, please? Yeah. And I think I have enough here to, go on as well. 5 people. I think there's 5. Does everybody here know about market readiness when you're talking about tourism? Jeff, you understand what market readiness is, eh? Anybody have a question about that? I'll assume that you know. It's like selling your house and fixing the step.
You have 5 minutes.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
It's like selling your house and thank you. And fixing your step before you sell it. We're talking about danger things. I mean, you can paint it, but you gotta fix the step. So I want you to be thinking about that. And the 3 things I want to talk to you about is part of market readiness. And I want to just review with you really quickly, exploitive and regenerative tourism. You know, in the 1920s and the 1800s, people, when they went with their tourists, they were usually wealthy people. They would go to Egypt, all these places that were exotic. They come home with all their souvenirs. People came to Canada, they go home with their First Nations souvenirs that they're now trying to return. Exploitive, people would go, tourists were going and taking and helping themselves and not leaving very much, getting things cheap. Regenerative tourism is what's happening globally now, and there are individuals who are, regenerative tourism has gone to the other side of the spectrum. And that is when you, and global tourists are very aware of regenerative tourism. And one reason being is that it brings about peace because people learn about the countries. And when a regenerative interested tourist comes and visits, they want to leave something, they want to do something positive, they want to contribute to the economy, and they want to learn. So it's a very healthy thing, it's very good. And that's why people are saying it contributes to world peace. I read an excellent book, you probably heard me talk about it before, The New Tourist. And I really enjoyed that book because I've been in the business 60 years. And it goes back more than 60 years, and it's very interesting. So many things she talks about, I recognize. Okay, that's the background. People, 67% of global tourists, as surveyed by Booking.com, are interested in regenerative tourism. And the Bay of Fundy and the Tides are an international interest spot. And so we get a lot of global people coming here, and the potential for the future is phenomenal. Okay, overnight parking bylaw. That's one of the get ready and fix your something before you have your, and I'm just gonna bring you up to date on here. The signs that the council put out were very helpful, and I was wondering if that's, could be something that you could do, is to check all your properties about signs, no overnight parking, liability, insurance. You all understand the financial or the legal, issues when you let people park on your property overnight. That is something that, a lot of people don't think about. And, so signs are great help. And now, a bylaw. We've talked about that before. People have expressed to me their concern about enforcement. And, one of the things I'd just like to mention to you, there are a lot of bylaws that, aren't enforced. You look at Crown Land bylaw about camping on Crown Land, they have some guidelines. I don't know if you consider them bylaws. But they do put out posters. And how many people have seen that poster for, camping, guidelines for camping on Crown Land? You can, if you wish, I can send you the link, but do have a link. You just pick it, go right on to Department of Natural Resources, takes you right to the poster. Notice it's very interesting. They've changed one thing about that poster, but the guidelines are RVs aren't supposed to be camping wild. And then there are heavy, guidelines for, tenters and all that. And Dennis's Beach is Crown Land. Okay, now, and I wanna tell you that I have an inquiry into PEI. I have finally found someone who knew what I was talking about. And she was going, and I talked to her yesterday, she's going to find the person who can talk about the history of their bylaw and how they deal with it and enforce it, et cetera. Because PEI has a bylaw about overnight parking.
That's a provincial bylaw.
Yes, but there may be some guidelines for the municipal, and they do have some differences in their municipal than we do. Okay, any questions about bylaws? We're still gathering information.
The link that you had sent us for the poster
Yes,
did not work.
okay, I'll fix it.
Yes.
Okay. Any more questions? Thanks for telling
That
me.
was more of a
I
observation
think
question.
Councillor Land replied that it didn't work, but I tried it as well and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Was it one of you two?
Yeah,
It was you.
Yeah, okay.
It
I
didn't
know
work for me.
it did for you.
Yes.
Well, you see, I tried.
You had two links. There was one directly to a document
Yeah,
in your local
Yeah.
computer, and then there was one to the province, so that's the one. I
okay,
clicked on, so.
okay, so we'll get that to you, because that's a good poster. Now, how are we doing for time?
Go ahead.
Okay, finish the Fundy Trail. That's something that we're working on. Jim knows a bit about it because we had a meeting, introductory meeting for organizations in the county who we thought would be interested in working with us, and we promised to work with the council about the Fundy Trail. I'll tell you a little story. I went to the connector meeting and the celebration at Fundy Park. And my husband and Grant Woodward in the 80s had called Mitchell Franklin and inspired a research because he had been talking about the Fundy Trail for years. And they called him and he's really excited. And that started that particular surgence of lobbying for the Fundy Trail. Well, when Frank McKenna got a hold of it, he took off. And then there's a history of what they did for the Fundy Trail. The original idea for the Fundy Trail was to have it from St. Martin's to Riverview. Okay, well, now we have the Fundy Parkway Provincial Park. We have different names. They went to Sussex 1 minute. And so we never got involved in it because they went to Sussex and then they included Fundy Park. Those are the really quick statement of, but what our organization is doing now is connecting with the community. We're gonna work with the council, with Jim and whoever he assigns, and we're gonna lobby for the finishing of the Fundy Trail. Do you have any questions? My minute is up.
So,
That's where we're at.
we understand the importance of the Fundy Parkway and the trail following into our area, so.
Yeah, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I brought 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I got one.
You got one? Okay. Has anybody else got one? You get one. Listen,
I have some.
you have some? Yeah. Oh, you'll get one at the VIC.
We have some at the office also.
You'll take one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I keep that by my phone. It's an Albert County directory. Plus, when people's relatives come, everybody in Albert County who has a relative comes should have one of those.
On my fridge.
Good for you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Phyllis, and thank you for yours. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Reports? No. Where are we? Oh, I'm sorry, Jim Lindsay. My bad.
All right, hot subject for Doral. Do we have a place in Fundy Albert to hang a plaque,
In,
like in the office, in the rec center where people will steal it, like the cabinet or something?
We can find a spot for it.
This is the first annual pickleball tournament plaque,
Ooh,
and the winners' names are on it. And I just need a place to put it that people won't take it. Just so you know, we had 24 people who played, we had 16 people watching. It was a great success, we went all day, it went really good.
And who won?
Believe it or not, Jim Carson and Sue Carson,
Oh,
both
really?
husband and wife. And it's a random draw who you're playing with, and they just had God looking down on them. They played well, they do.
where would you like to hang it?
I think, so, that's that question. Oh, where, I don't know where.
The rec
I was
center?
Thinking in, you know, the foyer of the rec center, but it's, there's no cabinet, if you put it on the wall, it could just be disappearing. So if I
When there
do
used
this
to be
with
a
council,
glass
if you find
cabinet
a
at
place
the
to put
old
it.
Riverside Albert.
We
No,
don't have a trophy cabinet.
No.
I couldn't find a trophy cabinet, that's what I'm.
no, I thought there was one at one time, but
So I would love to donate this to Kim and wish her good luck and find her place.
I'm sure we can find some.
I would. That's it.
well, it should be at the rec center.
It should, but we don't
That's
have
where,
a cabinet.
that's where we have
why I
those.
I know the Shepherding Fishing Game actually had a memorial, something to do with the youth in memory of Eric Tracy.
Yeah.
They were putting a little plaque up on one of the small walls in the community room downstairs. But I don't think anybody would steal it, would they, if they
Well,
put it upstairs?
unfortunately, it's one of these that you just hook it on the hook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's what the.
So I was
Shepherding
thinking if we
Fishing
just had one of those cheap IKEA cabinets,
Game was. Yeah,
glass frame, stick it in, close it, lock the door.
yeah,
Yeah,
put that on the list.
I know,
Delicious.
that's why I said I'll give it to you. Thank you. I'm done.
thank you very much for all you're doing, Jim. We appreciate it.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
I know you.
That's what we're at.
Yeah, thanks.
You're done, Jim?
That was it.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Mr. Coates has an EMO thing if he wants me to hang around.
I got a motion to come up from the
Go for it.
council committee reports.
Hey, Mr. McGrath.
Thanks. Yeah, so I guess the presentation tonight was, more informative, I guess, than I expected it to be. I figured it would be a lot more, NIMBY related, so not in my backyard, which, I mean, I think everyone, would be the same. Me personally, nobody really wants trailer parking back here. Having said that, you know, there was two of the letters that were written in support of the trailer park, which, you know, it does touch you that, you know, people are looking for affordable housing. That being said, I don't think the developers' motivations are necessarily altruistic in terms of support of affordable housing. That's for maximum profit. But I think a lot of the other letters and people who spoke tonight, they spoke eloquently, the letters were eloquently written, well researched. I think there's a lot of good points that they made that do deserve careful deliberation. And sort of just to support that comment. I know your deliberations, you'll be deliberating and voting on that rezone. Part of that, of course, is weighing the pros and cons. So I don't know, and this is kind of my question I'm leading up to, is what, obviously one of the main pros, I'm assuming, is the increase in tax base. I'm not sure how significant it is. But I guess the question is, do you know, have you a projection for what that increased tax base will be? I presume you would. And, you know, with that number in mind and other kind of benefits that you might see, you know, does it weigh heavily enough against the potential risks? geotechnical backlash from residents. Just kind of want to put that out there. I let them speak. Obviously, I didn't jump in on that because I'm not neighboring on that trailer park. So they deserve the floor for that. But I do support, them being opposed to the trailer park. I would hope that if it was in my backyard, they'd speak up as well, against. But I do thank council for hearing all of those concerns and reading the letters. Wherever you land on it, that's important to have done. So that is technically not in the LLC of Coverdale. But it is the community of Lower Coverdale. And technically it's in the Hillsborough LLC.
Yeah.
But just in context, the Hillsborough and Coverdale collectively is actually 51% of the population. Context for other discussions as well. And in terms of the warrant, not including a provincial contribution portion, it represents about 37% of the total warrant. So that is all just to say, I know you're not all from this area, but kind of think of it in context. If you were, how would you vote? I'll just leave it at that. I'll give you the question. No, maybe you can answer what the tax benefit is.
Yeah, in your time's running.
I just wanted to say this was really quick. And you probably know what it is because I said it last time, but I'm just looking for an update on financials from administration in week 6. You've got about 4 months before you start deliberating on the budget.
Yeah.
And as I said before, I don't want you all hamstrung.
We don't want to be either.
This next time.
We believe July.
Yeah, we did meet with the auditor on May 22nd, and they are willing to take us back. So they're gonna start working on the file beginning in July. So they'll be doing 2023 and then doing 2024 immediately after.
So beginning in July?
Beginning in July.
No projection of when you're finished?
It should go pretty smoothly just because we have the extra help in the office now with E6. So they're currently working on compiling the information and putting the pretty bow on the top. So it should be a pretty good flow, but there was no guarantee as far as how it's weeks, like I can't project that.
Okay, well, I mean, the important thing is that you're armed with those two financials. To do, your next year's budget, but also applying for grants and all those other things that would enhance on these. That's good news. So.
Yeah.
All right. Reports, recommendations from committee and private meetings. Personnel.
Just an update, so the ad closes this evening for the CAO position. There was a report from Every Lemon that was shared with council last evening. So just to highlight, there has been 18 candidates that will be contacted for a preliminary interview, which is very, very positive for Fundy Albert. The next steps will be that council and or the mayor, however it unfolds, is to appoint 2 members of council to assist in the interview process. That will happen later in the month. That's all I have to report on that. Hey, Councillor Ward Russell, is there anything to add? No, that's fine. Thank you.
You're good.
Could I add to that conversation? I'd like to be on that committee for the interviews.
Duly noted. I'm not saying that you will be, but I heard your request.
And I also think that we need to see those resumes in confidence. So we can make our personal judgments.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
She did also identify if anybody has any questions or concerns with the process, you're more than welcome to contact her directly. And the numbers on the email that it was forwarded and sent.
But I believe that we'll have 2 members, myself and 1 counselor. I'm leaning towards Dave Garden. And that will be the committee and Tammy. So that's where I am right now with this.
I would still like to see the resumes, dating.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm not letting it go.
Oh, that's okay. Two stubborn old boys, I guess. You got her. Well, that's the way it is.
I was here for
I
that.
really don't see any need for all of them.
them. But the last go around, we didn't see them. And I'm talking from experience. And we could talk to us all day if you want, but I'm
Yeah.
very firm on seeing those 18. And I think I'm warranted to see those. I've asked people in my ward about that. And they said you should be able to see.
Okay,
That's,
duly noted.
thank you.
Thank you, sir. The Emergency Measures Committee.
Okay. You got a committee report in your package, okay? But the main thing is, I hope you all read it, what it is. I'm moving that the council approves the municipal emergency measures plan as presented. Any questions? Get a second.
I'll second that.
Here, okay. Any questions on it?
Questions? All in favor? There. Done. Recreation Committee.
We will be having our first meeting, next Wednesday at 7 PM in the village office.
That's it?
That's short, sweet, buddy.
We need a seconder for that? No, that was short.
I have a quick question, if I may.
You may.
Will that include all new members to that committee?
Absolutely.
Including organizations?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've sent texts out to everybody that signed up, except for Ian. I just realized thing, when I seen Ian, I haven't included him yet, but now you know. And everybody I wanna make sure the date was good for everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody answered back that it was fine.
Perfect.
So, put together an agenda later in the week and send that out along with the TOR for the committee as well. So we better have it. Yeah.
Thank you.
ATV Access and Road Streets Committee.
Nothing, no movement on that. I haven't received any confirmation of marks.
Okay. Administrative reports, Alma Gazebo.
That is me. So I did send an updated synopsis to you all on May 30th. One correction in my report is I did make an error, background total budget of $24,514 sourced from the 2025 municipal budget. It should read the 2024 municipal budget because there was no funds allocated for the budget this year. So council when you were deliberating your budget for 2024, council approved $20,000 in the budget line for the Alma Gazebo. The project did not happen last year, so the end of December, a motion was presented and approved at council that a shared surplus among the subunits of Alma, Riverside, Alberta, and Hillsborough be invested into a cashable GIC. And that total amount of $172,345 included the $20,000 for the gazebo. Then on April 8th, council approved to allocate $4,514 from the Canada Community Building Fund project to be spent within the former village of Alma, which brought the total budget to $24,514. We issued an RFP, so a request for proposal, which resulted with staff reaching out to companies and posting on our website and social media. We reached out to the 4 companies and received 3 proposals. We provided pictures of the existing structure, including the size 16 by 16 with the following specifications: 8-foot ceiling, appropriate footings and roof finish, and weather resistant. So it's very important to note that the difference between a request for a quote and a request for proposal per the Funday Alberta's procurement policy. So the request for quotes is when a quote from a supplier for the purchase of specific products or services is requested. The lowest bid that meets the specifications is awarded the contract. Request for proposals is an invitation where criteria other than just the price are used to evaluate responses, and where the award is made based on the highest score. RFPs are generally used for more complex goods or services, like the gazebo. So that's why we did the request for proposal. So new developments as of May 30th, the village has been approached by a individual who wishes to remain anonymous to donate $25,000 to be allocated towards a better constructed gazebo. With this generous contribution, we are now able to work with a contractor whose product offers longevity, enhanced protection from the elements, and a more distinctive visual impact. Also important to note, the Director of Operations will be working with the contractor and Alma residents to help design this community gazebo. The motion before you all is not to approve the go-ahead for the work per se. It's more to transfer the funds from the GIC to the general operating so we can proceed with this project in order to meet August, latter part of August versus September. Questions on that?
Yeah, questions.
I do have a couple questions. I'll start with your report. So the quote from Sawyer is $45,845.02. If you minus the amazing donation of 25 grand, that leaves you with a balance of $20,845.02. But you're asking to transfer $24,507.09. Why is there a difference of give or take $4,000?
So the proposal that was provided by Grateful Sawyer is based on the specific, the project scope that's in your council package. However, there is add-ons. I don't know if you noticed on the quote, so we can do stamped concrete. There's a whole bunch of add-ons that we can do. So we're going to be working with the contractor. I mean, we're not going to go and say, spend $50,000. Is what can we get for that space with this budget? That's really all I can give you for.
Okay, so, and also you say the total budget is 24,514.
Yeah.
But the expenses come to 24,507. So there's $7 there that doesn't.
Expenses, where are you at?
So the total budget under background is 24,514.
Yes.
But your your 4514, your 1993 actually equals 24,507. So I would think that those two numbers.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Should have matched up.
Julie, want to answer that?
No, I think it's changed since I think we last looked at that, but.
You provided the motion. I'm not. If it's off by $7, it's off by $7. I'm sure we can correct it.
Some confusion there of when, before we got this donation, that the proposal we looked towards was $7 underneath.
Oh.
Was available,
Okay, that makes sense.
so that's probably where the confusion is happening there.
Hi, so just, I got a little statement that I've got here too. So I understand and appreciate that we've been talking about this gazebo for a couple of years now. But I truly believe that there's no harm in taking our time and doing the process right. I believe what happened is that you have 3 different scopes of work proposals. These have been defined from these what you want and what you don't want. From there, you will have a defined scope of work. And you can then compare your prices based on, I'm gonna say that word again, the same scope of work. Currently, you are comparing apples to oranges. The current tender is very naive with its request. It really is just a tear down, a 16 by 16 with a roof. Before I release or agree to move money, you need to know what you're buying. Are we getting value for our money? And do we know or have compared the scope of work with other invoices? You've answered my questions on the money, and I guess just based on your last, like, will we actually see the final design before it? Because you're saying that we will not approve that final design, correct?
So your council is more than welcome to sit in on the meetings that will be held probably in Elma with some residents, and Ian can share that information. So if you do have input on what you'd like to see for the Elma gazebo, you are more than welcome to do that.
If I might add as well, if you look at project scope of the Grateful Sawyer proposal. Second paragraph, the last line, it says, final drawings will be submitted to the client for review and sign off before fabrication. The budget includes one round of revisions. And when we're talking about sign off, it is actually the drawings, which are a line item within proposal itself.
And so just, we're not approving the final contract because it is not over the $30,000 threshold?
Correct.
So, but we're going to be spending 45, but just because there's a donation. Okay. So I guess just because we have the funds and you need to ask and answer, is it well scoped, offer clear value, and not just because you can? So I think that's a statement that needs to be acknowledged.
I would just add to that, if I may.
Go ahead.
With all due respect, Councillor Ward Russell, I think that I could say that none of us here are experts in gazebos or construction. If you are, I do apologize. But I would say that when we look at proposals such as this, we definitely should have input, and I think this is a perfect, this is a perfect meeting to talk about that. But because we're not experts, we do rely on our staff, in this case, the Director of Operations, to make the right decision on our behalf based on the proposal that went out, the request for proposal. So if at the time, council didn't like the proposal itself, I believe that there was probably a mechanism we could have questioned it. Or at that time, before going further, getting the proposals out in the market, that we could have come back and asked for a change to it. I think at this time, if we spend more time with the proposals and actually go through the details, we're going to be in the same place. We're not experts on this. We do want to get the best product for the residents. That's the point. That's what we're here for. But I think at the end of the day, we leave this to our staff to make that decision.
Anybody else?
Yes, please. I think we need to see what the scope of the work is, what we're gonna get, whether we're gonna have a cement slab on the ground, we're gonna have screw piles. I think there's some clarification needed, maybe with the input of the residents and all, that's fine with me. But I have a hard time releasing $46,000 and not know what we're getting. We bought 3 trucks in Bundy Harbor 2 years ago. And I personally went to 3 different vehicle dealerships, 2500s, gas, diesel, different quotes. It was all in the package, brought to council and made the decision because it was in front of them. I don't feel that we are getting that information at this time. And $45,000 on my money. I realize 25 is donated, which I think is excellent. That's very complimentary of whoever done that to the community. Hats off to them, and that's fantastic. Wish we had more of that. But in the long term, I think this project is still $45,000. I think council should be involved.
Well, I believe that council, some members of council can sit on that committee if they wish. I think if we drag this around too long, we'll probably lose the gift.
Can I confirm,
Yes.
ask one question of the clerk, please? The gift of the $25,000, I think if I read this correctly, and for the public, the donation was made to enhance the gazebo.
Correct.
Install.
Yes.
Okay, so for me, that's key. I think there's 2 things key for me. That one, I agree, we've been talking about this gazebo for several years now. 2, I appreciate the fact that council is being welcome to join in on the committee meetings. And that the village, some of the members of the former village of Elma are being included. So those are all key stakes and for me, and I personally would proceed with this process and have the gazebo designed and built in this fiscal year.
I got one question with the clerk matter if possible. Have we received that gift yet?
No, there's a legal document and he's coming in to see me this week.
Okay, somebody like to make that motion?
Whereas Fundy Albert has a GIC number 0011 reserve of $172,345 for capital projects within the former villages of Elma, Hillsborough, and Riverside, Albert. Whereas Fundy Albert's Canada Community Building Fund 2019 to 2023 capital investment plan has $4,514 earmarked for the construction of a new gazebo. Be it resolved that GIC number 0011 be withdrawn to the Fundy Albert capital account. $19,993.09 be transferred to Fundy Albert general account, and that the remaining balance and interest be reinvested into a cashable GIC. And be it further resolved that $4,514 be withdrawn from the CCBF 2019 to 2023 account and transferred to Fundy Albert general account.
Seconder. Jim Coates, second. Any more questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay. One nay. Two nays, sorry. Motion carried. Animal snow removal contract.
Okay, so I did provide synopsis for the Elma snow removal contract extension. The recommendation is to approve the 2-year combined extension of both the road and parking lot snow removal contracts with DS Butland, ensuring continuity of service and honoring the existing contract terms.
I'll read that motion.
Whereas seconder.
He's gonna read it first.
Go.
Hold on.
I'm getting tired.
There's water in it. Whereas snow removal contract for roads between the village of Elma and DS Butland dated November 1st, 2021 has reached its expiration. And whereas under the terms of the original agreement, DS Butland holds the first right of refusal to extend the contract for an additional 2 years. Whereas a separate contract for parking lot snow removal, also held by DS Butland, expired on April 30th, 2025. And whereas DS Butland has expressed interest in exercising the right of refusal to extend the road's contract, contingent upon a 2-year extension and the parking lot snow removal contract under the existing terms. And now therefore be it resolved that council approves a 2-year extension of both the road and parking lot snow removal contracts with DS Butland under the existing terms and conditions.
Seconder. Gomes. Any question? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Riverside Albert water treatment upgrade overrun.
Okay. So for water treatment, before bringing to council for final approval, the interim CEO completed the final review and identified that one of the employees from the other Riverside Albert project had been mistakenly included. Additional testing was conducted to verify the accuracy of the list, confirming that this was the only error. Final total cost of the overrun is $9,984.90.
So we'd like to make that motion.
Whereas the Riverside Albert Water Treatment Upgrade Project had a cost overrun of $9,984.90. Whereas the Riverside Albert Utility Capital Account holds a balance of $18,058.05. Be it resolved that $9,984.90 be transferred from the Riverside Albert Utility Capital Account to the Riverside Albert Utility Account to cover the cost of the Riverside Albert Water Treatment Plant Upgrade Project.
Seconder. Garden. Any questions?
No questions. Sorry, just to comment that I think for me, again, I'll reiterate, in the future, if there's going to be cost overruns, we need to become aware of it in advance, not after the fact. I do believe Riverside Albert Water Project has a lot of expenses coming at it right now. And I think we're going to have to really look and see where we are. Because it seems like our funds are being used up constantly and just receiving the approximate amount of the water leak that we've just had has incurred a lot of bills. So, you know, on behalf of the taxpayers, I think it's something we're going to have to really look into to see where we are standing and what more work needs to be done before we go into the budget process and utilities for our water and sewer.
Thank you. Anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. Mayor and council statements and inquiries. Go ahead, ladies first.
Attended the AGM of the Bennett and Healthcare Foundation. It shows that they are great supporters of their catchment area. Thank you to Mr. Bob Rocha and the rest of his board for another successful year. And I wish them another successful year of fundraising that will benefit the area. Continue to attend the participation meetings on Monday nights with the committee. This group has been very committed to making sure there are activities going on throughout Fundy Albert. Please check the Connecting Albert calendar for event details, and let's keep moving Fundy Albert. The local food bank has been successfully temporarily moved to the Olden Hall while renovations are happening at the local health center. This happened because our volunteer organizations work together for the greater good of our residents. Thank you to the boards of the food bank, the Riverside Albert Fire Department, and the Albert County Exhibition for having this done. The Riverside Albert residents are very thankful that the water leak has been found. They are also very thankful and note that the presence of a public works employee in the village does not go unnoticed. It's very clean, the lawns are getting mowed, and it doesn't go unnoticed and very much appreciate it. I attended the meeting with DTI with the balance of council, with rest of council. And in closing, I would like to once again reiterate my appreciation to our local volunteer fire departments for all they do. They continue to show their dedication through professionalism, efficiency, and knowledge when the need arises. Keep up the good work, and I'm proud to say that our safety is in your hands. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Jones.
As Councilor Alrican, I really want to say a big thank you for the fire departments and our guys and gals that's involved. It was a big fire. Fortunately, none of our members came out with any kind of injuries. I guess they were a lot of laying bodies from fighting a big fire the next day, but these people are so special, and it takes a special person to get involved with something like the fire. And to run into a building while the rest of us are standing back watching them do it. And God bless every one of them. They're fantastic people, and we're very fortunate to have them. Just something to bounce off that. I got a call from Troy Collin Sunday. While Dal was down fixing the wires in front of the building that got burnt off, they somehow managed to cut off all communication to Kodiak. They threw down to Elma, and there was an event that happened in Elma that dispatch was trying to get in the park. And dispatch was trying to get a hold of them, and they couldn't. So dispatch had to get a hold of Riverview, which called somebody in Elma to make them aware of this. You know, if Bell's gonna cut that type of stuff off, our guys, Kodiak, everybody needs to be aware of what's going on, so some provisions be put in place. From my understanding, everything went well in Elma, in the park, but it was just a point of it, that wasn't very well thought out by Bell to start clipping communications that our emergency people use. So Troy just wanted us to know, let us know as a council, and maybe, you know, Jim, if EMO can rattle some chains or something, that just isn't the plan. That's not good at all.
You got any comments, Jim Lindsay?
I have a couple of them actually on that issue. We need an alternate. It's in the original proposal. council, you and I have been working on. Proposal to set up the ECC to bypass exactly that problem.
And the last thing I have, I've had reports from numerous people within the village of Hillsborough. We have a pack of 3 coyotes that's been running around within the village after dark. A number of years ago, we had problems with coyotes in the village of Hillsborough, and we had to hire somebody to take care of it. That'd be something that if this continues, that we may have to look at doing something as far as having them removed.
Yeah, really.
When you get 3, when you're, was there 3, 1, you can might be able to shoo them away. 3, it's not gonna be that simple,
Backed up.
back up. So that's a little concerning.
And all we get in Riverside Albert's wild turkeys. Beavers.
Anyway, that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Councilor Lynn?
Yes, I would like to also thank the firefighters. They do a tremendous job. Them guys take their life at risk every time they go. They go in a building, they pull a lady out. Hats off to them guys, and we need to support them any way they need it. It's equipment. It's not the budget. We need to look a little further and make it happen. Just a big thanks to them guys, and appreciate what they do every day. I've got a couple questions. Water exploration in Hillsborough, any word on that? Is there anything we done with it? We going anywhere with it?
Yep, we're moving forward, sorry with that one. The next thing to happen is the environmental survey on the landowner farm.
Right.
I've spoken to him about that. He has a copy of the request for us before we move forward on current in discussion on that.
Is there a timeline on this going forward? I think we're gonna have a dry summer, that's why I'm asking. And I think this is, I brought it up before, I think it's a little more urgent to me. Because I think we're gonna run into trouble in September. I really do. The little brooks alongside the road are already dried up. We've had a lot of rain so far. So I'm gonna keep pushing, yeah.
Yeah, we're moving forward with it. It's on my list for tomorrow to speak to the landowner again, get that approval to go on with the environmental survey.
Thank you. I've seen some paving trucks going today, so some patching in Hillsborough happening.
There's been some padding on Academy Street.
Yep.
I've not actually been down there to physically take a look since they finished.
But they have started.
This morning, and then Mill Street, there is quite a significant patch done there.
That's
a
great.
great section of the arena. DCR still to come around and do the
patch.
potholes and that they're going to do.
Okay, I'll see you all there started to do their
Yeah.
job.
I said in the interim as well, we've had our public works team going around doing a little bit of a cold patch, but I'm a little bit tentative to do too much.
Yeah.
Because it may come out and we're just trying to hit the potholes that are, unavoidable as such. So we get a hot patch in there when DCI do go around.
Okay, appreciate that. There's a fire hydrant by Rocco Cucino. Had a garbage bag over.
Yeah, it just needs to be pressure tested.
It's been fixed.
It's been fixed, just needs to be pressure tested to make sure it's all good to go.
Perfect, thank
That
you.
was my primary concern when I saw the things on Facebook on Friday.
I forgot to look on the way up today, but anyways, I appreciate that. The lift station down by Pound Hill, as you're leaving Hillsborough, grass seems to be a little long there. Can we kind of get that looked after?
Yeah, we're getting around to the outstations. We've been concentrating on the larger areas and some of the villages. However, with the leak going on in Riverside Albert, and we had a member of the public works team off sick for a couple of weeks. We are playing catch up a bit, but we are aware of that.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Thank you. Pool. Sean schedule. You had your
at the
fix,
moment, yes,
because you had your fix repaired, everything's good there.
the team have been in there painting today. I'm reaching out to the fire department to get it filled next week to have the pool opening and then get all the cabins and everything on the 16th. With the pool actually open to the public on, don't quote me on this, about the 3rd or the 4th of July. Probably the first couple of days being reserved as slower days for getting assessments in for the people that are doing swimming lessons.
Okay.
That we've already put out on Facebook. Schedule for the summer to follow shortly.
Appreciate that, thank you. And one last question. We on schedule for E6 for the financial July 1st.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
Thank you very much. Councilor Ward Russell.
Perfect, so I've been inquiring with regards to an update on the Greensboro Lagoons, so actually I was contacted by ELG with an update as of May 31st. So the current design is at 90% and it's almost ready to be tendered. The land has been finally purchased, that did take a long time to get completed. There will be a public consultation that will need the help of Funny Albert in the near future. So over the coming weeks, the process will be to complete the design, to offer the 2 phases tenders, and we're looking at an August timeline to begin the construction. So the construction this summer and fall will consist of majority of the street work. There will be a lot of traffic in the area, and this will, with a lot of traffic and road work, the residents of Greensboro should be prepared for that. I was also contacted from a resident wondering about the advisory committee for public works, what the status of that might be. And I couldn't answer that, so I thought I'd bring it up and see what the answer was.
I don't think a decision was ever made
No, I don't
to
think so.
start it back up, but,
Terms of reference, you know.
they're done.
I guess the best answer I can give you, I'll be in the office and I'll find out where it is, and by the next meeting, we'll have a decision. Okay. Counselor Garden.
Well, first thing, I attended the Bennett Albert County Health Care Foundation with both Councillor Elderkin and Mayor Campbell. Again, great to see another great organization supporting the community, and congrats to another successful leader. I do want to mention that I did see DTI patching the 114 already, which is great to see. I mean, I'd like to say it's early in the season, but I think it's earlier than previous seasons, so I think that everybody can appreciate patching. The last thing is in regard to the gift or the donation that the village received from a resident. Very appreciated. I know that council's not fully aligned on the gazebo itself and the path for that, but I don't want to take away from the gift itself, the donation, and how grateful we are as a council to receive that. And the last thing, I just have 2 questions, if I may, in regard to the paving in the former village of Alma. I think it was Brown's Paving. Do we have an update, a start date for that?
No, I've got the call.
Okay.
Speaking to Silver's Paving this morning, different company, but still under the same issues. There's been a lot of issues with starting up asphalt plants this year.
Okay, so there's a delay.
Yeah.
Potentially with the manufacturer.
It's about a week ago, it was 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
And I'm calling them up once a week just to get an update.
Okay, so you don't mind calling to get an update on it? Perfect. Okay. And the last thing was an update on the lighting upgrade that was awarded for the Alma Activity Center. Is there a start date for that?
Work has started on that.
Oh, it did, okay.
I did go in there yesterday when I was down, but the previous week I was speaking to contractors, they're doing all the way with the satellite rooms, washrooms, all that first. And they're working, deconflicting with the other users just to avoid disturbance if we keep using the space.
Okay, that was gonna be my next question, so you answered that for me. That is all I had. Thank you very much.
You, Councilor Phillips.
Just a couple of things. June the 17th, EMO and Red Cross is putting on I don't know what you want to call it, but they runs from 9:30 in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's at the Riverview Fire and Rescue. They suggested 2 people go. I've said it 1. I think Kim should be there. He's the EMO. Well, somebody, if something happens, he's the one who's gonna get the head, I know he's got a lot to do,
Yes, it does.
Send me the information. Do you have it? Is there an email or,
huh?
do you have an email on that or?
Yes, I do.
Do you wanna just flip it
It's a
on?
comfort station meeting. It's how to operate a comfort station.
Oh, okay.
The next thing is, I wanna say, Jeff, I don't know if we can anything with Bella Lion. They are almost ignorant and the response. I've tried everything else and terms of reference, we have to, but Saturday afternoon, Rogers had their working and ours was Sunday afternoon, ours got in. I did hear tonight that one lady had to go from Shenstone into almost at Hillsborough to get somebody with a cell phone to get the ambulance. That's, I think she's all right, or whoever it was is all right from what I hear, but one of these days, they're gonna lay down, you know, and, but the province is better at them, there was the assistant, deputy for treasury said that they were putting out, I don't know how many $1 million worth of for the TMR system and all that. And they said, one of the things is we want whoever gets the thing to improve cellular service in New Brunswick. Like, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's fair, I just.
Yeah, it's they say it's $1 million each tower they put up, so whether they do it or not, I can't say. I don't think that they will. But again, Elma got in the tower in there by getting their fire people getting in and reading, and did after a while somebody put it in, so I guess if we get the firemen together and probably ambulance New Brunswick, yeah, we'll see if we can. But that's something that EMO can work on for us.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Myself, well, I mean, people have covered pretty much where I've been, but there was the Bennett Foundation, AGM, CCRC meeting, President's Breakfast, which was Albert County Tourism, not ATV, Jim. I dropped in the lunch and learn from Nursing Home Without Walls. Learned a few things about falls and whatnot. I guess what I'd like to say most is, and participation, we attended that the other night and did a walk for an hour or so. But the amount of not-for-profits that we have and the volunteers that are working for the betterment of Fundy Albert is amazing. And there's more than I mentioned here, so basically I will continue to go visit those people and try and keep up with what they're doing and hopefully support them in some way, so. Thank you. All right. Public statements and inquiries. Ready? Anybody?
You think about, they pick them all in for birthdays back in the.
You don't want me up there falling down.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah, I know you do, yeah. Okay.
Two clarifications here, if you don't mind. I want to reiterate or support the fire department and what they did with
Yes.
on that fire. As soon as we got the call, we had to get in and get two wells up and running some supply of water for that fire.
Okay,
The other thing is, the communications is key. Our SCADA system went down because of that communication fault.
okay,
And if we can't communicate with that, then we can't do our job in keeping, clean, reliable, and safe drinking water. So I support the fire department and the chief, whatever, and you, Jim, in trying to get that rectified, because that's key and very important. The hydrant at the former Rocco building was functioning as of that afternoon after the fire happened.
so,
So fire hydrants are key. We can keep our people on those. The other thing is, on May 22nd was the 25th anniversary of Walkerton. Walkerton is the very significant, tragic, event in water history in Canada. And I attended the, conference on that, and I'm going to ask that everyone, it's on YouTube, I'll send you the link. But you really need to watch it. As elected officials, your role and what you're doing to oversee the water systems in these communities. And I'm going to insist that anyone that works in Fundy Albert with water, they have to sit and watch this, because it gets you here, it just turns the knife. So those are just a couple things I want to bring your attention.
thank you very much, Heather.
Can you send us the link?
Yep, sure.
Thank you.
We'll get it out to the people.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. It's vital, because we've got 25 years of history, and I don't think we made any advancements in New Brunswick.
No, and I was dismissed because I didn't recognize the fire department, but it's not because I don't care about them. I really do. They're a great bunch of people, and the amount of time that they give up from their homes, their jobs, and what they do in a year for this community, fundraising, fighting fires, and just being there to support us. We can't do much without them. We need them real bad, so. Notice of motions and resolutions. David Garden, Elm Visitor Welcome Center.
I'm gonna read the summary and the notice of motion as well, just because I wanna make sure there's context to the motion. So the summary is referencing the presentation provided by Micah Foddy on behalf of the Friends of Funday on May 20th, 2025, within the Council of the Whole public meeting. Ms. Foddy offered to provide a fully staffed welcome center within the Alma Cultural Building for the months of June to September. Additionally, Ms. Foddy has since reinforced that the staff would be trained and would provide visitor and tourist type information for all of Funday Albert. As part of Ms. Foddy's presentation, she requested that council provide rental payment relief for the Friends of Funday and specific to the Alma Cultural Building, which is the gallery section, which is already set up for tourist type information interpretation for the months of June to September, equaling $2,400. So for the motion specific to that presentation and the request for rental payment relief by Micah Foddy on behalf of the Friends of Funday within the Council of the Whole public meeting on May 20th, 2025, I so move that the funds in the amount of $2,400 are provided to the Friends of Funday as an abatement. Furthermore, the funds shall be allocated from the unbudgeted revenue that was received due to unexpected rental revenue.
Can I have a seconder? Jeff Lyon. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
I
Oh, sorry.
have a question. I just want to clarify here that we're not giving rental payment relief, correct? We are just, I'm in support of this motion, but I'd like.
Yeah, I'm hesitating because I'm looking for clarity from our CAO, but the intent of the motion that I gave notice for was, yes, it wasn't that. This was to provide a payment of $2,400.
That's correct.
Thank you.
That's correct. Okay.
Yep.
And the motion was carried passed. Unsightly premises cleanup.
That council authorized by law enforcement officers to take all necessary measures on the carryout. The cleanup work as prescribed in the notice of compliance registered on January 22nd, 2025. Registration number 457345580, concerning the property identified by PID number 00622-985 up to a maximum of $1,380 as discussed in camera on May 20th, 2025, to bring this property into compliance with bylaw number 2024-06. A bylaw relating to dangerous or unsightly premises in the Village of Fundy, Albert, and the Local Governments Act. Finally, that council authorize municipal staff to undertake the necessary steps to recover the expenses incurred.
Second, Jeff Kelmer. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Auditor appointment. What did I miss?
Bylaw.
Oh. The appointment of the bylaw officer. Yeah. Okay. Can we have someone read that?
Yeah, I'll read that.
Thank you.
Whereas council has adopted various bylaws, whereas council may appoint bylaw enforcement officers for the local government and determine their mandate. Be it resolved that the following persons are appointed by law enforcement officers of local government, according with the Local Governance Act in its regulations, the Police Act and the Community Planning Act and its regulations, and the Building Code Administration Act and its regulations. Colleen Quigg and Jacob Bolton. Be it also resolved that the above mentioned appointment includes all generalities as prescribed in the Act, the regulations of the Act, the Police Act, and any other act and regulation of the province of New Brunswick. And that the bylaw enforcement officer of the local government exercises their discretion according to the files given to them by the clerk or during patrols of the local government. And that the above mentioned appointment continues as long as the officer is an employee or is retained by the local government.
We have a seconder. Councillor Overton. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Auditor appointment.
The Fundy Albert Council appoints the auditing firm Ascend as the municipal auditor for the following fiscal years of 2023 and 2024.
Second, you made the motion, Jim? He seconded, Jim seconded, sorry. Any question? All in favor? Carried. Okay. Closed session? None? Who's gonna do the word? Councillor Land, adjourned. Thank you. Thank you, council, very much.